Covering endless miles doesn't just test your legs, it tests everything else. You're managing chronic aches, balancing electrolytes down to the milligram, coordinating logistics all by yourself when you're out there battling terrain, and praying your shoes don't disintegrate halfway through. It sounds brutal, and honestly, that's half the battle. But here's the deeper truth I learned: endurance isn't just about pushing harder, it's about surviving an emotional freefall while doing it. Because we talk about extremes, let's talk about origins. For some, the fight starts way before the starting line. There's this heavy shadow of inherited risk, a genetic blueprint leaning toward compulsion. And sometimes, the trigger comes from somewhere completely outside your control. Maybe a terrible crash, exposing you to potent chemicals, or watching family members spiral into chaos fueled by alcohol. Those formative years are messy, filled with witnessing crises, trying desperately to navigate wreckage while still figuring out who you are. How do you survive that? By clinging on to tiny anchors, whether it's a parent holding firm through disaster, or eventually stumbling into a place where other broken people show up. And that brings us to the core idea connecting addiction and athletics. At its heart, craving anything, whether it's a fix from a pill or the rush of crossing a finish line, is usually a desperate hunt for something missing: belonging, security, validation. Substances offer a quick chemical bandage, but removal forces you into the terrifying real world, forcing you to ask, what am I actually chasing? Running becomes this strange crucible where you chase peak physical performance while simultaneously digging through decades of buried trauma. It's never linear. One moment you hit a wall so hard you think you've failed utterly, derailed by bad luck or exhaustion. Then, suddenly, right when you have nothing left, this impossible surge hits, this pure, electric belief that you can. That duality, crushing despair versus the miraculous burst of strength, defines the experience. But getting to that breakthrough takes relentless internal warfighting. Sobriety wasn't handed to anyone, it was earned through falls, relapses, and hitting rock bottom until you were forced to look inward. Just stopping didn't cut it. Real healing demanded diving into the mechanics of recovery, applying lessons, building connections. This realization echoes perfectly in the mountains of ultramarathoning. Simple abstention isn't enough, you have to actively integrate the philosophy. This leads me to the biggest takeaway: talent is overrated. Effort is currency. People get hung up on having some inherent gift, but the narrative shifts when you realize that consistency beats genius every single time. Small wins compound. Finishing that short practice run, nailing the hydration strategy, enduring another mile when your brain screams stop. Those micro-victories stack up until they create unstoppable momentum. Even when you reach heights, like smashing a PR or conquering a monstrous trail, humility has to kick back in. Elite performance isn't about pretending you're invincible, it's accepting that fragility is part of the deal. Sometimes knowing when to strategically step back, when surrender is smarter than stubbornness, is the highest form of strength. Ultimately, whatever path you choose, be it pounding pavement or rebuilding a fractured life, it boils down to radical commitment. Don't wait for inspiration to strike, find the thing that makes the disciplined grind feel meaningful. Find the challenge that scares you enough to demand your best self, because that friction, that's where the actual shaping happens. Check out Profile for podcast summaries.